Hi, my name is Garrett. I'm going to be your teacher for technical drawing today. I hope you've enjoyed week 1, module 1, and we are going to continue on with this one, module 2. There are 3 parts to having a good fashion board. One is your fashion illustration, which you've learned how to do in Fashion Illustration 1. Then there's fashion sketching, which is sort of the mood that you're going to create. Then there's the technical flats. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I've taught you how to be very precise with your tracing on the fashion details. I think one of the things that gets lost over time, if I taught it the other way around, people lose the details. So I want you to always continue to use a lot of details, because think about it yourself. When you look at something, anything at all, it's the details that you enjoy, okay? It shows that you spent time, the person spent time for you to actually look at something and go, wow, that's great, versus that's so plain, why am I looking at that? So today what we're going to do is we are going to put together a very nice presentation, which is part of the technical drawing experience, and that means that everything has to be equal, smooth, precise, nice to look at, basically not a waste of time, okay? And we're going to do all of those things, which is going to be technical flats, fashion illustration, and sketch. So what I want you to do is get all your supplies together, meaning a pencil, markers, hopefully a micron pen. This one was very fat. 0.01 would be really great. Erasers, always a really nice ruler. This is the fashion ruler I love, because you can see through it. It's wonderful. And marker paper, 9 by 12 marker paper. If you go to the Module 2 site, you're going to find this croquis and this flat. Eventually I'm going to teach you how to do the flats, but I want you to understand the whole picture. Let me show you the whole picture. This is what we're doing today. Okay, this is the whole picture. And this would be a nice board. It's not colored yet, and we're going to learn how to do all of the coloring with manually with all of the wonderful art supplies that you're going to gather. Those of you who are excellent with Illustrator and Photoshop, and you have the ability to use use those accounts, then I'm going to go ahead and let you start doing that later on. But for now, please do it by hand, like the rest of us. All right. Make a copy of this sheet. That's 8.5 by 11. And you can see that I've left some space here and some space here, because we're going to add a hat. We're going to add shoes. There's some space here. It's nicely arranged where there's going to be enough room for you to have a fun sketch here. But the border is not going to be correct when you use a 9 by 12, see? So don't do the border yet. Don't do anything with that border. But you do want to have a nice layout like this you're planning ahead. Planning ahead in technical drawing is really important. Okay, I'm going to change my camera angle at this point so that I can show you all the steps to create this image. Okay? And so bear with me. Okay. Alright, you're going to take this image that's 8.5 by 11. Remember, you're not going to draw in the border. You need to put this underneath so that you can trace it. Now, if you have a tracing table, that's perfectly fine. I did not have a tracing table, so I'll show you what I did. This is a photograph that I made into a copy. That's the pool area where I live. And so I have her, you can see the flat, technical flat, and I put the 9 by 12 marker paper over it and taped it to my window. And then I used a pencil, a light pencil, to trace her very carefully. Every bit, really, really carefully, especially technical flat. Do not do the border. Okay? Now, when you're tracing, you have to be careful not to go outside the lines because this will make her fatter. You always want to be on the line or inside the line, but never outside the line, especially when you're working with hands and teeny itty bitty little fingers, or eyelashes and lips and all of that good business, toes, toenails, little wrinkles for gathers, stuff like that. And here's the other thing. Sometimes I peel off the bottom and just lift it before I take it completely off, because sometimes you'll notice that you've forgotten by accident, let's say that line right here, you know, and you go, uh-oh, I forgot that line. So you put that back in and it's still all in place. Once you have all of this girl and this technical flat really cleanly traced, and let me put it this way, do not trace like this. Don't do that. You're going to need to breathe, go, and then exhale, exhale, lift. Okay? And when you start this line again, you're going to have to go inhale, start back a little ways, and then keep going so that the line is really clean. You don't want to wind up with inhale, exhale, smooth, lift, inhale, exhale, and then you have this, you know, little bit that goes wee like that. In fact, my pencil was there in that spot too long, so I'm going to dab it. And then you can come inhale, exhale lightly so that it cleans it up. So how you trace, it starts everything off in the right way. Please make sure that you're going to use your ruler. Please make sure that this is, let's say, 1 inch, and that was 1 inch also, or something like that. You need it to be very precise on the top and the bottom. Also, you're going to measure from this elbow out and from the edge of this cuff out. So you want to keep that about the same on both sides too. All right, and you need to make sure that she's completely vertical on your paper. Don't make her like she's falling over. Okay, so that, you're going to read your steps. That's your next step. Okay, here we are again. This is me in the window. I have traced, let me show you real quick. I've traced her. And see how clean that looks? Okay, so the toes look a little wonky. You're going to have that problem too. I'm looking at everything. It looks pretty clean. No border yet. And so at this point, I'm going to want to do the fashion sketch in this section. It's really important that you keep this size the same at the top for your fashion sketch. So let's say you don't want to have a fashion sketch this big when the dress is this big and she's that big. You don't want to have it be super wide either, like there's 2 different sizes of dresses going on. You want it to seem the same size, okay? It's just going to have a different feel. It's going to have a nice mood. So this is the sketch you got out of the window. Notice that the fingers are very tiny. The face is looking all right. You're going to fix this later. The toes wonky. We're going to fix that later too. But it's all pretty well done, okay? Now, at this point, you are going to move the 9.5 by 12 paper. This is the, remember this is the, this part, that's this, okay? So this is still on the window, and you're going to take your paper, 12 paper that's already drawn on, and you're going to move it down some to where the technical flat is up in that corner. You understand? So let me show you the picture again. This is my drawing that I just traced on the 9 by 12 paper. And this is my girl underneath my hand that's on the 9.5 by 11 paper. I have put this, what we're doing is we're just taking that gap at the top, which is right here, and we're going to put this flat underneath, right above this one. Now notice how I have the ruler. I have the ruler lined up on the cuff here, that I'm looking through the paper, and the cuff here. I've also measured down here at the bottom, and I've measured up here at the top to make it even. So we know that these are the same size, vertically perfect, with enough space. Okay, now I don't want to trace this again because this is going to be my fun sketch. At this point, after being really precise with your girl and having to inhale and exhale, and then very super precise and methodical and accurate with your technical flat, it's kind of like you have to switch gears. Your brain has to change over, and now you get to have fun. And you're like, oh, I don't know how to have fun anymore. I had to do such precision work. Well, I know. So for me, I kind of had to just shake it off. I went and, went to the pool, swam, enjoyed myself, took my dog out, and then came back, and I had a whole different kind of viewpoint on it, because this has to be a fun sketch. Okay, now, how am I supposed to have fun and do a fun sketch? All right, this right here, this is a blow-up. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. Can you see the technical flat underneath? See this? This is the technical flat that we traced below. Really, really clean, very precise, all of that stuff. There's the arm. Okay, so when you do technical flats, everything has to match up. Lines have to touch. There's a starting point, and then everything is clean. There's no spaces. There's no real freedom at all. It's just very, very precise. This, on the other hand, you get to have fun, show your personality. Everyone sketches differently. Lines can go off. Lines don't have to be completed. Things that hang down can blow. Foofy sleeves can kind of be like they're blowing. Seams don't have to actually start at the edge and come up. I added those because I know how to sew and it needed it, so I added that. I also think, like with gathering, I think of what I call MNIs, where it's like, or W's, that's a W, or loops. Here's a squiggle, you see what I'm saying? And you just sort of enjoy yourself. And for arms, kind of make them do something, and lines just look free and fun, okay? You can kind of exaggerate for wrinkles, and here's another kind of a S, Z. They don't have to connect. So that is a blow up of what I did on top of this. I had my flat underneath, and I did this sketch for fun in the window on top. Okay? Now, let's go to the next thing. So at this point, let me turn this so I can see it. At this point, you're going to have this. It's a very planned out, nice little space there, everything good. She's tidy. This is super tidy. This is super fun and free. I'm feeling like I love this outfit already, but she needs to be dressed in that. Okay? So, before you get dress her, I want you to go to my accessories on module 2, and you'll see that there's a hat flat, there's a bag flat, there's shoes flat. Okay, so I do not want you to trace this. This is mine. I want to see what you do and how yours turns out your way. Okay, but you're going to do a hat, the bag, and the shoes. I do not want you to trace my sketch. I want to see what you do for your sketch. This is really important that you learn to be you, and I guide you to be a better illustrator and technical draftsperson. Okay, so but use the way you draw the bag, the way you draw the hat, the way you draw the shoes, and the way you do your sketch is going to be completely you. Okay, and I can tell if it's you or not. I'm only allowing you to, let's go back. I only want you to trace that and that. From here on, I want to see your abilities, okay? It's really important, and it's also really fun. Okay, so once you do very, very clean, we're back to super clean, lines touch, everything's finished. You got all of this done, beautiful buckles, holes okay, I redid my toes because they were icky, and then I added the border. This is a 1/2 inch border. Please keep your corners clean. Please use a ruler. Don't do one of these things in the corner where a person goes all the way across and then all the way across and then they try to erase right here. It never looks good. It always looks messy and amateur. So what you can do is, with this ruler for sure, see how it has it has this 1/2 inch thing here, and so I know where to make a dot, and I can go that way, and then I know I can line up my paper on the 1/2 inch line right here, go back to the 1/2 inch mark from the edge, and go across, and now I have a super clean, beautiful border. It matters. These things matter. All the details matter. Okay, so now you have this beautiful border. You have the sketch, the flat, and beautiful croquis who's ready to be dressed. And now, ta-da-ta-da-ta-da, you are going to dress her. So when you put clothes on a croquis, I'm just going to remind you because I think all of you have had Fashion Illustration 1 and you know how to do wrinkles, you know how to do cuffs that go around the wrist. Around the wrist. I want you to add a ring. I need you to do some jewelry here. Nice eyelashes, not too many. You have to have some wrinkles in the elbow area, under the arm. Of course, this is just the style. Oh, I forgot to put my I added those darts, so let me add those in. Okay, and so a little bit of wrinkling along the hip where this is going to be gathered up. And last but not least, I want you to add in 1 inch by 1 inch squares. Those are for fabric swatches eventually. And when we color this and give it texture, and you're going to make it extremely beautiful. So please don't make this square too close to her, or too close to this border, or too close to the purse, or you have to make it look visually pleasing. If you need to, I'm going to let you do it where you think it looks nice, but if you need to, let me make this really quick. You can make it yourself a square. You're going to have to cut the fabric anyway, and might as well just talk about that quickly. When people get the fabric and they put it on their beautiful board, fashion boards, I notice a lot of times that the squares look more like this. So which one's a square, right? It's important to have the square. You can make some fake fabric and put it around, move it around, see where you think, and kind of get an idea of where you think it would be best and how you think they could be best. You could do 2 in a row there. If you want to, you're going to have to think ahead a little bit. My plan for me is to have the top be one fabric and the skirt be one fabric, so I did 2. But you could have this section be a 3rd fabric. You could have the underskirt be a 4th fabric. See what I'm saying? So if you want to have more than, you have to think ahead how many colors of fabric do you want. If you want this outfit to just be one color, then only put 1 square. And you need to decide whether to put it here, here. I don't think it works well over there, but making us an example is really good. Okay, so at that point, you're going to get your micron pen and you're going to ink all of this. Let it dry really well before you ever erase. I erased it too soon to show you what would happen if you erase too soon. Other thing is that, like for example right here, I left that alone so I could show you. I'll push this to make sure I can see it. Okay, so there's a little line here. Instead of getting this and smearing it really badly, I'm going to get this eraser and I'm going to be very precise. Okay, it's gone, see? And there was no smudging. So don't do this. When you're done, don't just take this thing and go like that, because you're going to get this halo effect. Okay, so that is going to be the assignment, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. Again, this has to be really pretty because another time we're going to do grayscale on it, color it, and add fabrics, and you're going to begin to learn how to do the full board look, and I'm going to teach you how to draw technical flats along the way. Okay, now this is tracing, so I didn't teach you how you do this from a real garment, but that's coming. Okay, I hope you enjoy this. I can't wait to see how you draw, how you do your croquis. Eventually I'm going to let you choose the croquis, you choose the outfits, the fabrics, the accessories, and all of that. But for now, we're just, inching into it, baby steps. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me turn my camera up so I can say goodbye until I see you again. Whoa. All right, so I hope that was enjoyable for you. I absolutely love fashion, technical flats, sewing, fashion illustration, color, texture, the whole thing. I know that you're the same way because you're a fashion student. It's a wonderful blessing to be able to use your talent the way we're using it. There are so many people, billions of people in the world, and guess what we all have in common? We like to wear clothes. So I hope you enjoy this project. I want to see the best come out of you on this, okay? Have a good day.